Hey guys, Ronan here. We are back again for another Ghost in the Shell standalone complex episode. Uh, and we are here at the season finale, episode 26, called Standalone Complex, I think. Yeah. So we made it, guys. We made it to the season finale. I just want to say thank all of you for joining me on this and sticking with it and commenting on everything and explaining certain aspects of the show to me, because even though this has been a rewatch from a long time ago, there's still some things that I don't know, and this is just one of those shows where you can watch it multiple times and you can get something new out of it, every time. So but it seems like some of you had like different bits of information to point out to me and things I just didn't know. So it's pretty awesome that you guys were able to help me out with that. And so yeah, we had an emotional last episode there. Tachikoma sacrificed themselves. Motoko got her head blown off, and Bato got captured. So yeah, officially now Section 9 is kaput at the moment. So, but we still have the Laughing Man case still kind of not, the story of it's not out in the public yet, and those seeds got planted and spread. So I think that's really what we have left to see is what that information is going to do, because I had mentioned before, like, even though in the physical world it looks like Section 9 is losing, which essentially they did, information warfare, I believe that's what their specialty is. They seem to have been putting up pieces on the chessboard, if you will, to allow them to come out on top. So yeah, we'll see what all that stuff is all about. So if you guys haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff helps me out. And I do have a Patreon too, and thank you to my patrons that have jumped on so far. I have one tier. It's a $5 tier, and that gets you a week ahead of time. So for those of you watching this on YouTube now, you could be watching the season finale now, or you could be on Patreon and you could be watching the beginning of season 2, because that's where we're going next, straight up. So feel free to jump on that if you want to. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get this started. Oh, and we're jumping right in.
You mean to tell me that even if the flesh is lost, a person's thoughts can wander the net and continue to exist as a unique individual?
I'm not so sure. It's hard to imagine that a will which is free of its shell could maintain its individuality in the sea of the net.
So is the Major surfing the net right now without a body?
You know what needs to be done, he said. Every Section 9 member has a unique ability, and you work best on your own. But individual success is a reflection of strong teamwork.
Man, Togusa does not look good.
When all that crap went down, did the chief really throw us to the wolves? I was subjected to pointless interrogation, unable to contact my team members. 15 days later, I was suddenly released.
I wonder how many times he was on the toilet when they just opened the door like that.
And my instructions from the security company I worked for as a cover, saying that I was on indefinite home leave. But if I was supposed to wait for someone to contact
interesting.
me, who would that be?
I suppose that makes sense that on paper it wouldn't just say, yeah, I work for Section 9. Is that why they say public security anytime people ask them who they're with? Or is public security actually part of the title of Section 9? I just wonder if public security is the cover name and then Section 9 is the actual name, or if they both just go together. So Togusa is out, not knowing what's going on.
Armed coup plot by certain radical public security members uncovered. That was how the whole event was summed up and reported to the general public. Even the use of deadly force by the Self-Defense Army to foil the alleged plot was not only justified, but given a...
It's interesting, all the barcodes that are in the news. I assume you can scan those with your eyes and get that information.
Did the chief truly abandon us then? The only one of us in the group whose status after the attack was spelled out loud and clear.
Is that the Major?
Did the Major really die? Why am I the only one who was set free as if nothing had happened? These days, my family sees me playing the role of unemployed husband. It breaks my heart and my spirit to watch them carry this unbearable load they've been burdened with.
Throngs of reporters are gathered here in front of the ruling party headquarters, and the atmosphere is tense. Making the tabloid rounds before the low...
Like, I know life can like have its ups and downs. In some parts of your life, you have really good fortune, and other parts you get knocked down a peg. But that's just crazy that he was a part of something like kind of really special, and now he's just kind of like a stay-at-home dad, kind of. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like he had like a service to offer the world rather than just staying home and just being there with his family.
We have reliable information. The Secretary General will likely be asked to come with us for questioning. My staff and I have labored long and hard to prepare for this day in anticipation of arresting Mr. Yakushima.
Long and hard, he says. But the information circulating in the tabloids and personal sites was obviously the intel that the Major and the rest of us uncovered. It's not important who actually collars the guy as long as he's caught. Is it that smug, triumphant attitude of the public prosecutors? Even the whiteness of their shirts pisses me off. Don't these facts which Section 9 pieced together show the truth about the Laughing Man incident from 6 years ago? Exactly how does this make the world a better place?
So other people are basically taking credit for all the work that they're doing, or that they did. All right, we're gonna do something with that, apparently.
Laughing Man, you were the one who first tried to shed some light into the black abyss of this case and bring it to the world's attention. You must have had a revelation about something, and you're watching this with eyes that see the big picture. If this all plays out the way I think it will.
Where'd the book go? You're gonna go assassin style.
Hold it! Put your hands up nice and slow and turn around.
You son of a bitch.
As lousy as you are, you'd be caught before you could even see Yakushima. You're a dummy. You know that? Let's go.
I like how he just brushes that off like it's nothing, even though he just about became an assassin of some sort and ruined his life probably forever.
And the star arrives.
What took you so long?
Just like we figured, he went to the ruling party HQ.
Are you serious?
Busting his balls.
I'll bet the prosecution's gonna get the hero treatment for a while because of this.
I mean, don't you think the credit for tracking him down
Should go to us here at Section 9, that's what you want to say? He'd make a deal with the PM and force the public prosecutor's office to take action. He pretended to sacrifice Section 9.
He always has a plan, so
It's not as if we were filled in on details of this little lot beforehand either.
The chief was confident that we would survive, then find one another and regroup.
The chief kept you alive and safe by getting you clear of the Section 9 mop-up operation. According to records, I'm a convict living out my life up the river.
Ishikawa got his ass kicked, so yeah, he got it pretty good.
The Major, what happened to her?
Who cares? I don't give a rat's ass about that bitch.
Weren't you bawling your eyes out a few months ago?
Screw you.
In that case, let's say I grabbed the satellite footage from the scene.
And you ought to send it to the Major, too.
All right, cut it out.
Mochoko!
Bastard.
Oh my god, this is awesome. I love it when they give each other shit.
So, what are your current plans?
I intend to rebuild my unit. In fact, I'm on my way to scout a prospective new member.
New blood. Mm-hmm.
Now I get it. You really aren't the Laughing Man, that's for sure.
It's a pretty dope looking library, though. It's a very trippy library, that's for sure.
You took longer than I expected.
Don't give me that. You didn't even send me an invitation. There wasn't much else to do while I was floating around.
I was worried that you were going to die.
I'm not ready to bid life farewell just yet, when my fully remote cyberbrain was blown off.
So it was a remote body, right? But it still left her to float around in cyberspace. Interesting.
When it comes to cyberization, I'm pretty much the shining example of a poster boy. So you'd think at the very least I would have felt terrified at the thought of contracting cyberbrain sclerosis. What I'd found was a blackmail document that had probably been sent to Serrano Genomics. It was armed with a thesis that was a comparative study of the inadequacy of Serrano micromachines versus the effectiveness of the Murai vaccine.
Then the original Laughing Man was the person who authored it?
You can put it like that.
So even he himself is not the original Laughing Man. He was the first person to physically like take action, you know, beyond writing a thesis and stuff like that. But
who knew that copies could still be produced despite the absence of an original? If you had to give a name to this phenomenon, what would you label it?
Standalone complex.
Yes, it's the standalone complex.
Although I have found one thing capable of restoring your individuality after all your information has been synchronized. Everyday human curiosity.
Will I be arrested for kidnapping? Or for inciting multiple simultaneous terrorist acts?
It beats me. That little matter's completely at his discretion. This is Daisuke Aramaki. He's my boss, the chief of Section 9.
Do you want to put your hacker skills to good use and join up with Section 9 as our 9th regular team player?
Say yes.
I'm surprised. You're trying to recruit me? It does sound like it would be interesting. But I'm going to have to pass. As much as I hate to say it, I'm not a team player.
That sucks. That would actually be really awesome to have him on the team.
Section 9 will resume work as an anti-crime unit. It'll remain that way as long as you and I want it to. That's all, Major.
Yeah, that would've been cool. It'd been cool, like, kind of in a way they worked together. Even though if it wasn't the whole time. Because he found something, gave it to them, and then they carried out what needed to be done. So, in a way,
yes,
kind of makes sense.
It's been a long time, but I can keep my promise to him, finally. Well, I'll get it. That's quite all right.
Bend your morals, or you'll break eventually.
What's going on? What happened there?
Major, assemble the team with an A2 loadout.
Bato, you copy that?
Did that guy get blown up or something? I don't understand.
I'm already on my way.
Ishikawa, Saito.
I'll go separately and meet up with you.
Well, it looks like we're being let out of the season here.
Ready on this end.
Hazu, Boma.
Just give the word.
We gotta get lucky sometime.
All right. Yep, you gotta dive off a building. You got a camo out of it. Wow. Well, we're just gonna keep playing this song, huh? Well, we made it. We made it to the end here. Yeah, it's a fantastic story, you know, and it's so interesting how small the explanations are when it comes to just how things happened. Yet when you talk about all the little components to the story, it kind of like flowers into this huge ordeal, particularly when you have the politics involved in it. And it's just like, here's someone with cyberbrain sclerosis that randomly found a file that said, hey, here's this thing that could save your life. And so that gives him personal motivation to really push for it. It wasn't just him feeling for other people with a certain circumstance. He was one of those people. He just also happened to be a really badass hacker. So yeah, it's just the levels to this story are incredible, and I think that just kind of goes with any Ghost in a Shell story you talk about. It usually has like this very basic idea, and then there's just a lot of layers to it on why it becomes a complicated situation, and then you put it in the context of the world that they're in and the things that are involved with the politics and technology and the use or misuse of that technology, corruption, people wanting money, corporate greed, things like that, and healthcare. There's a lot of topics that this season covered, and they just happen to take all these things that happen in our world and they put it in this really incredible one here, this distant future of who knows, someday we might end up like that. I probably won't see things like that. I might see a little bit of it, but I don't think I'll fully see like this whole situation, but I'll end up being one of those old guys in like those little slot machine businesses, whatever it is. I'll be one of those guys. I'll be helping people, like, you know, plug into my brain, and then whenever they need to use my brain power, that's gonna be my role in all of that. But awesome. We made it through season 1. I'm really excited because I'm just that much more excited about season 2. And I've read some of your comments, and I think the general consensus is I think people like season 2 more than season 1. Not that people don't like season 1, but I think season 2 is just that much better. It's a bit more finely tuned, and the stories in it are pretty interesting as well. But that's a whole other ball of wax that I haven't seen in a while, and it'd be cool to dive into all the intricacies of all that stuff. So, but guys, that's the end of season 1. So, but that's it from me, though. Thanks, guys, for watching, and next time I see you, we will be in season 2.